And he's loose again. Edwards off the running. Poked it back down to Edwards. They hand it off to Johnson. Boise State has won. Right now. And they take a downfield shot. And the catch is made. It's Vernon Williams. Goes to the free. Touchdown.
All right, everybody, welcome into another edition of the Gridiron Uncensored podcast, and we appreciate your time here. Texas fans, you are obviously on deck for the season preview, and it's just me today, Brendan. Glad to have you in here. And, we've been rolling through season previews. All the conferences are done just about. We got the Big Ten left after this, and you are the last SEC team that I'm getting to at the moment. So, again, thank you for coming in. We're going to get right into it here. I always like to look at the 2024 schedule and just kind of talk about that before we get, into let me move that around. That's fine. Before we get into anything else. And looking back to go forward, 2024 was such a year for Texas, 13-3 in all. And you look at, how it started. Colorado State won. And then you go into Michigan and you beat that Michigan team. A great win against a defense that, was really turned it on, throughout the year. But you got the best of them early. And then you kind of go on this nice win streak here, capping it off with, the Oklahoma win, in the Cotton Bowl. And then you go against Georgia and they beat you. And that's the one team that's got you figured out right now. Vandy. You got them in a tight one, and then you go out and you blast Florida. You take down Arky. You take down Kentucky, Texas A&M. You guys, who are they? You don't give a shit about them. That one's done. And then, again, Georgia and the SEC championship. Texas, your first year in the SEC, you make it to the title game, and you lose in a freaking great game, crazy battle, 22-19 in overtime. And then you go out, you beat Clemson, beat Arizona State in a very tight game. Especially at the end there. And then you go down to Ohio State in the semifinal. So great year. People always say, well, they didn't win the national title, so what's it meant? No, I mean, look, Texas, obviously, you have national title aspirations, understood. But still, getting that far, you got two playoff games won. You made the SEC championship. That's an incredible year, in my opinion. Moving forward from 24 on to 25, looking at what we have and looking at first is return production, Bill Conley numbers, 51% on the return production. That's pretty solid. It's not the best in the league. It's not the worst, but we'll take it. SP plus, also from him, 5th in the country when it comes to, talent and the advanced stats that they run through, and that'll get, of course, shifted around during the regular season when more, information gets plugged in, more data comes through. Coaching staff wise, Keena came in as passing game coordinator, safeties as well. Chad Scott, Mark Orphy is guys that I wrote down. I want to know what you guys think about those hires. I think it's all good. I think that Sarkisian's been doing a really good job at building his staff and maintaining the momentum that you guys have built. One, just recruiting, which is off the charts, but also, on the field success. So I want to hear what you guys think about it. I'm cool with the hires. I think it's good moves. Akina coming in, I think that's probably the best of the moves. Now, looking at the transfer portal, pull this up here. Looking at it, it's 11 in, 15 out, 25th class in the country. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's not like you need to go try and pull an Ole Miss, if you will, and just load up on people every year and hope something sticks. You're making the playoffs without that. You guys go out and you get people that that you need, defensive line talent, tight ends, backup quarterback position, that type of stuff. You're plugging and playing. You build the rest of your depth chart off of strong recruiting, and that's the key to longevity and success. in my opinion. I think it's shown with the last couple national champions as well. So we're looking at that. That's a good one. Brevard coming in, Shaw on the defensive line, Andrews. That's a crucial piece. Watson. Those are guys that I look at immediately as impact players out of the portal. You guys did lose some good ones, but I think you guys are what you have organically, and then what you plug in here with the portal is going to be just fine. Now, moving on, we're going to talk some offense, defense, and then we'll get to schedule here at the end. This is a macro look. Somebody commented on that in Missouri. They're like, "Oh, you're not digging in deep enough." I'm like, dude, it's my goddamn show. Me and Trevor, he's not on right now, but we're just we're not ESPN, all right. We're not trying to get into every nook and cranny here. We're looking at it kind of in a macro sense, but we're fans of college football. We know what's going on. So when we look at the offense and defense, all that stuff, that's where I'd like the fans, of these teams to talk to us in the comments and, give us their feelings. Either way, enough of that sidebar. Sorry. Just something that came to my mind. Offense, clearly, the question mark is Arch Manning. You may not say it's a question mark. Some do. I'm kind of in the middle. I clearly, as a young quarterback stepping into full SEC play, and not, just playing against scrubs. So we're going to find out real quick how good he really is. But it's him full time. He gets the full off season to cook and to learn and to grow. So that's imperative. Last season, he still came in, had 939 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So, the numbers are there. But when you look at the games, this is where, I kind of get into it. Is okay, where does touchdowns come from? Yes, 4 against UTSA. I like the UTSA squad. He still threw 75% completion percentage. Then he goes to ULM, throws 2 picks there. Mississippi State goes for 325. A horrible Mississippi State team, but it's still an SEC program. And again, we're national. We're not just doing SEC. I'm not a fan of an SEC school. But that was a shitty Mississippi State team. Like, no doubt about that. UGA comes in, does it a little bit, nothing really to write home about. And then really that's how it is for the rest of the season. So now he gets that whole opportunity. But he also has a lot of weapons around him to maybe take off some of the pressure that he might be feeling as soon as he steps in. The halfbacks are supposed to be healthy. Wisner's, he's a beast. He stepped up big night last year. Baxter's back. The depth pieces from recruiting are strong, very highly recruited guys. So I'm just curious how Baxter is after that injury. I'm a Michigan fan. So Blake Corum, when he came back after his injury from 2022, it took him a couple of weeks in the regular season to feel like he was ready to rock and roll at full speed ahead. And then once he did, it was like the old days, I say the old days, like the 2022 season, the 21 season, getting back to it. But either way, that's just kind of my thoughts on it. How quickly does he feel that he's back to full game speed? Offensive line, I won't say it's a question. It's just how quickly do they gel? They return 1 starter, but they've got enough about the talent that I don't even think you guys hit the portal on offensive line. I double check. I wrote in my notes, but yeah, no offensive line help from the portal. So what's that mean? Sarkisian's he's ready to roll with what he's got. He trusts that talent. He trusts that they have the ability to mash up immediately. So from the depth of guys that were rotating in, 1 starter back, they're ready to go. We'll see how quickly this unit gels. And then, out wide for me, it's how do you replace, Helm, Golden, guys like that. Oh, you go in the portal and you get a bunch of beasts. I think there's a really nice, portal class. Well, at least Mosley anyway, coming in. I was thinking about Georgia. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of these previews. Looking at my notes now. You got Mosley coming in from the wide receiver position to help plug, but then you've got a bunch of beasts organically that are already on the team. So you've got guys like Wingo, DeAndre Moore, mentioned Mosley, then the young guys, all these recruits that you have that are coming up. When I'm looking at tight end too, that's one where Andrews comes in, and I think he's going to be a massive piece of this offense, especially for a young quarterback. You want to lean on tight ends. To me, that's one of the most important positions. You can have as many wide receivers and whatever's you want, but if you don't have a reliable tight end that can one block, but also get involved in the passing game, make those mismatches against, linebackers that are slower, or even safeties that aren't great in coverage. Oh man, that's money. So him coming in is huge. And there's talent all over the offense. So I'm excited to see how this one goes. I want to see him, step into the light and talking about, Arch and just how he does, and then how quickly the offensive line gels. Defensive side, looking at it again, so much talent, man. It's really embarrassing. Anthony Hill is a beast. 16 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. Lafau, you got plenty of guys back there that can step in, and the depth is plentiful. The interior, that's where, when you look at the transfer portal, you went out and got guys that, kind of what I fucked up earlier. This is where I mean Cole Brevard, defensive lineman coming out of Purdue. A lot of Purdue guys getting picked up in the portal this year. They always seem to have, I don't know. They can't put together as a team. They got individuals that can freaking play. Travis Shaw coming over from North Carolina. Canoe coming over from Ohio State. Plenty of defensive line help. Who's going to fit in? Morale Watson. Again, you guys got guys. Okay, it's just who steps up, who's going to be the main set, and then the rotational pieces I think are going to be just fine. The secondary took some hits, from the portal, but also graduation, everything else. But there's depth there. There's veterans there. I'm not worried about it. Some people I've seen talk about it online, but I don't think this is an issue. Muhammad, Kobe Black, Taff, maybe Taffy, if I mispronounced that. They've all got the reps, interceptions, tackles. They've got proven production at this position in the back end. And McDonald, he's strong as well. So you've got dudes that can play all across the board. And again, to me, just predicated on the offense, how well this team does. Last year, you guys had the 21st offense, third-ranked defense. I don't see defense falling off that much. If, I'd sell at least top 20, to say that. Obviously, that's probably a very simple thing to say, but I'd still say a top 10 style defense. And I didn't even mention the edge. You got Moore and Simmons still. So, yeah, you guys are going to be fine there. Now, let's look at the schedule real quick, and, we'll get the hell out of your hair. 2025 schedule's coming up. Let me get it situated on the board here. And I don't like that one. That's too small. Well, that's even smaller. Whatever. All right, there we go. Looking at 2025, Ohio State early. We know how that's going to be. You guys had a battle in the playoffs. 2025, you're going to Columbus. You want revenge. You have Arch Manning. They have Julian Sand. It's gonna be a battle that week one. I can't wait for that game. Which quarterback steps up? Who? Because everybody's saying Sands, he's ready to go. He looks elite, and I've seen some of the clips of him passing. He looks really crisp, but the experience, I'm just curious how that really plays out. And then defensive, stands are going to be incredible. San Jose State's not a team to, look over necessarily from the group of 5, but you should outpower them massively. And same with the rest to start after that Ohio State game. Even if you lose that game to Ohio State, you've got room to improve and to square away any depth chart issues. And then after the first bye week, that's when shit gets real. Florida, Oklahoma, Kentucky, I think, is improved. We already know about Florida and Oklahoma. Oklahoma bringing in Mateer. Mississippi State's going to be a win. And then Vandy's a team that got close last year, you guys know. But, hey, Pavia's talking natty, so you watch out. Maybe they get you. But something to keep an eye on. Another well-timed bye week, I think. And then you finish off with Georgia, at Georgia, Arkansas, which they say Petrino's talking about, Taylor Green really improving on reading defenses. We'll see how they fare. And then Texas A&M, they're hoping Marcel Reed can, really progress in the offseason. So tough schedule here. But when I look at it, if everything goes horribly and Archman just doesn't shake out exactly the way you want him to do it in his first full starting year, you got a loss to Ohio State. Florida could be a loss. Oklahoma can get you. Georgia can get you. Texas A&M. So when I'm looking at floor, I'm saying 8-4. And that's, again, if everything goes horribly wrong, you guys still have too much talent to lose more than that, in my opinion. 7-5 would be, I'd be shocked. But again, that's why my floor is 8-4. Ceiling 11-1. This kid comes in and he is the truth, and he hammers it down, and you guys are rolling. Even if you lose early or one of these middle segment games, it doesn't matter. You guys have the opportunity with the talent you have to go 11-1. I'm leaning more towards a 10-2 type season for you guys. One, just the talent you have, but maybe you lose to Ohio State early, and then you get caught up in one of these later games. It's still a tough schedule, and going undefeated is so difficult. So that's my thoughts on it. I'd like to hear what you guys think about the schedule, about the team. Tell me in the comments. We want to hear about it. Trevor and I will we'll hit you up in the comments, good, bad, or indifferent. What are you seeing? What do you feel we missed out on that we should be more leaning towards that 11-1 season? I said I'm 10-2. Come on, give me a little slack. But either way, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great one. And again, we'll see you in the comments. Take care.